I honestly had no expectations. You know, I planned on going, or I decided I was going to Bosnia sometime in November, December of last year, and it was just what was going to happen. Okay, this summer, what are you doing? I'm going to Bosnia and I'm teaching English, and I had no idea what that meant and what was going to happen. And part of it was I was trying not to set myself up. I wasn't trying to like have high expectations that would then not come through. But part of it was I just really didn't know what to expect, and it was way outside my comfort zone and way outside anything I had ever done remotely before. And it was an amazing experience, much, much beyond anything I could have possibly imagined. And a huge part of that was plugging into the TSI community. The people there, the students who are also the volunteers who really keep TSI afloat. The Bosnians that I met and the other interns, the other internationals who were there, and just brought so much dedication and so much enthusiasm to everything we did, which was, you know, the teachers working 14-hour days and the students organizing all of our excursions to different parts of Bosnia, and just plugging into that warmth and the support and the just incredible sense of community was amazing and made my summer completely amazing. So. What I was doing was teaching classes and doing administrative work, I guess, so sort of organizational and administrative stuff behind the institute. So in the beginning, that meant a lot of processing of the applications, interviewing the applicants, deciding on courses, organizing the courses, putting the applicants into the right courses. And then once the institute started, then I spent 4 weeks teaching English to high school students, and then also teaching an IT course in the afternoons. Honestly, the sort of bridging the cultural divide doesn't stand out to me as one of the greater challenges of the summer, and I think that a lot of that has to do with the age group that we were interacting with. My students were only a couple of years younger than me, or in some cases exactly my age or a couple of years older than me, and the things that we did together, so many of them just felt natural because, you know, we got to know each other, and we would go and sit in cafes and drink coffee, and, you know, it just felt so relaxed from the beginning in that sense that I didn't often have the sense of, well, that's not exactly true. I was going to say I didn't have the sense of being an outsider. I definitely did. I definitely felt that distance the whole summer, but it never really felt like a problem, I guess, would be my way of putting it. I mean, there were times when when I would be walking around the city with the two other interns, and we could just tell that everyone was staring at us because of how we were dressed or how we were walking, or, you know, what time of the day it was and what we were doing, or things like this. But it never felt hostile. And that isn't to say that we weren't very aware at different points of a lot of cultural tension. For instance, when we went to on one of our excursions, the whole institute was on a double-decker bus, and we were going out someplace, and we were coming back, and we all needed to use the bathroom. So we were going to stop at a gas station to use the bathroom, but we couldn't stop right then. We couldn't stop in the area we were in because it was Republika Srpska. It was Serb-controlled territory, essentially. And so we had to wait until we were closer to Tuzla in the Federation to stop and use the bathroom, because we had women on our bus who were conservative Muslims, or observant Muslims, and the driver was saying it really isn't safe to stop here for us. And so there were definitely moments when the just feelings of cultural differences created tension, I guess, but it wasn't within the TSI community. I never felt that to be a problem, and I think a lot of that is because me, Ruslan, and the other interns, we really benefit from the 15 years that Chris has put in, and the sort of the reputation he has, and the credit he has with the Bosnians, the Bosnian community, that we can just cash in on that, and we can just, you know, it's a red carpet laid out for us, essentially, that we don't have to work to build those relationships from scratch. The relationships are there, and then we can show from our actions that our intentions are good, but we don't have to start from square one. And what really brought home the experience to me at our closing ceremony on the last day, it was a really emotional experience, I think, for all of us who were there, and it was very difficult to say goodbye to the people who I'd met. But I had many students come up to me and just say how much it had meant to them to have me there, and I could tell, you know, these were students maybe who hadn't spoken to me in English for the first couple of weeks because they were too shy, or who weren't really articulate, or who weren't comfortable speaking in front of a large group of internationals. And it was just incredible to see the change in them over those 4 weeks. And I think that has changed my perspective on what I want to do with my life and what kind of jobs I want to have. Like that real sort of practical, concrete moment of seeing those students at the beginning, and then 4 weeks later, just 4 weeks, and it was, you know, just a few hours a day, but it really created a change in them. TSI was phenomenal, and I think a lot of it has to do with having the right people in the right place at the right time, and but I think everyone who was involved really pulled through, and we did some pretty incredible stuff.